All right, welcome back everyone for another deep dive. Today's a little bit different.
Oh,
We're looking at this blog post
okay.
that claims it's got like a secret phrase you can use to attract women, but
Interesting.
we're not just gonna like take that at face value. We
Right.
want to use this as a starting point to kind of look at, the whole psychology of like
Mhm.
how attraction works, especially between men and women.
Yeah, it's interesting how much people want like a quick fix or like
Yeah,
a
right, yeah.
shortcut to like dating success.
Totally. And
It's more complicated than that, right?
oh yeah, way more nuanced.
Yeah.
So let's dive in and see like what this blog gets right,
Mm-hmm.
what it maybe gets wrong,
Okay.
and what you can learn from it.
Sounds good.
So first big thing they hit on is emotional connection.
Okay.
Like they claim that's the most important thing for attracting women.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
Oh yeah.
Research does show a lot of women, they really need that strong emotional connection.
To be interested.
Yeah, to even like consider someone romantically.
But what does that even mean? Like
Right.
blog's kind of vague about it.
It's not about like showering them with gifts or
Yeah.
saying all the right things.
Right.
It's more about making someone feel understood and valued,
Mm-hmm.
safe. Even if
Wow.
you think about it from like an evolutionary standpoint,
Okay.
women have always looked for partners that can provide stability.
Right. Security. So
Exactly.
are you saying women are just like hardwired to want that?
It's not that simple. I mean, biology plays a role,
Sure.
but we can't ignore society and people's individual experiences.
Right.
But generally speaking, the blog is kind of onto something.
When I say emotional connection's important,
Exactly.
so it's more about the whole vibe you create.
Yeah, the overall dynamic.
Not just like specific things you do.
Exactly. It's how you make someone feel.
Yeah.
The blog, they kind of touch on that.
Even if they oversimplify it a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
And then they even go on to say like,
Hmm.
you don't even have to build that emotional connection in like traditionally romantic ways.
Oh, okay.
They say even sexual desire itself can be a strong emotion for women.
Interesting.
And that can lay the groundwork for attraction.
That's the good point. It kind of challenges some common misconceptions.
Yeah.
The blog, even with its clickbaity title,
Right.
is actually acknowledging that, women's desire is complex.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just one thing, it's emotions, it's security, and
yeah.
yeah, physical attraction too.
So it's all mixed together.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm still curious about this so-called secret phrase.
Right.
Because so far we're talking about pretty complex stuff.
Yeah, not some magic formula.
Yeah.
Let's see, the blog, they build up to this idea of using playful accusations to kind of spark attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And their secret phrase is, "You're totally flirting with me right now, aren't you?"
Oh, okay.
And they claim this can flip the script,
Okay.
add some humor, create some playful tension.
I see how that fits with their whole like be subtle thing.
Yeah.
I say women don't like guys who are too direct.
Mhm.
It's better to hint and tease and be mysterious.
There's some truth to that, like the whole playing hard to get idea, like
Right.
creating a challenge can be attractive.
Yeah.
But calling it a secret phrase is a little iffy.
Yeah, it sounds
It feels too formulaic,
too much like a script.
almost manipulative.
Yeah.
Not genuine.
And they also talk about asking like these daring questions
Oh, yeah.
to create tension and get personal.
Like what?
Like, have you ever been skinny dipping?
Okay.
Or what's your take on PDA?
Those kinds of questions, they can be conversation starters. You
Yeah.
can learn about someone's values, but you got to use them authentically if it feels forced.
It'll backfire.
Totally.
And this whole approach seems to hinge on the idea that
Yeah.
desire, especially for women, starts in the mind.
Interesting.
They even connect it to like the popularity of romance novels, how building tension slowly
Yeah.
can be more effective than.
Right. Than being really explicit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a real psychological basis for that.
Oh, really?
A lot of women, they need that emotional and intellectual stimulation.
To feel aroused.
Yeah, it's about feeling a spark, a connection.
That goes beyond just the physical.
Exactly, creating a narrative, a sense of anticipation.
So are they saying telling stories and being mysterious is the key?
The blog's definitely onto something there.
Okay.
But we got to be careful not to see this as like manipulative tactics.
Right.
It's really about creating a connection that feels real.
And engaging.
Exactly.
It feels like they stumbled onto some valid ideas,
Mhm.
but then they packaged them as this quick fix solution,
Which we know.
which doesn't exist.
When it comes to human connection, there's no quick fix.
Right.
It's complicated.
It is, but even with its flaws, this blog is giving us a lot to think about.
Yeah. And
It's making us really look at the dynamics of attraction and how we communicate.
right. How to do it better.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. I'm actually kind of curious. What else does this blog have to say?
Me too. They have a whole section on like common mistakes to avoid,
Oh, okay.
which I think could be useful,
Yeah.
even if some of their advice is a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the pitfalls is just as helpful as
I know.
studying what works.
Like learn from the mistakes, right?
Exactly. Helps us see those subtle things
Yeah.
and avoid doing stuff that might, mess up a connection.
So they basically warn against being too, like, explicit,
Okay.
needy, or disrespectful.
Makes sense.
Like, don't come on too strong,
Yeah, don't be too eager.
especially with women.
Right. That makes sense.
It fits with what we know about attraction.
From like a psychological perspective,
Yeah.
totally. Neediness can make you seem less confident,
Yeah.
less self-assured, and those are
Attractive qualities.
exactly.
So play it cool.
Not exactly aloof or playing games.
Oh, yeah.
It's more about showing confidence.
Yeah, self-respect.
Which lets the other person relax.
Feel comfortable.
More open to connecting.
But what if being too subtle backfires?
That's possible.
Like, what if they think you're not interested?
It's about finding that balance.
Between showing interest, but also
Giving them space
for them to...
to reciprocate.
Yeah.
It's about reading those cues
Yeah.
and changing how you act
Yeah.
based on how they react.
So it's not just following some rules. It's
Yeah.
more like,
Being present.
yeah, and responsive to, like, the vibe.
Exactly, to the unique dynamic between you two.
The blog kind of touches on this, too.
Yeah,
When they talk about respecting boundaries,
makes sense.
being mindful of the other person's comfort level.
It's about that mutual respect
Yeah.
and understanding. That's crucial.
And it makes sense that being negative
Oh, yeah.
is a turnoff.
No one wants to be around a downer.
Exactly. Like, who wants to listen to someone complain all the time?
Right, research shows.
This is like science now.
Yeah, positive emotions, shared experiences.
Those are powerful.
They really bond people together.
I mean, think about it.
If you're having fun with someone,
You connect those good feelings with them.
exactly, and that can lead to more attraction.
So it's not just what you say,
No,
it's the whole energy.
the overall vibe you bring.
Yeah. Would you say that's accurate?
Absolutely, creating a positive, engaging atmosphere
Where everyone feels good.
and enjoys each other's company.
This reminds me of what you said before,
Okay.
how this blog, even with its clickbait title.
And it's sometimes oversimplified advice,
Yeah.
does actually touch on some real psychology.
Yeah. Like, it's not all bad.
It highlights how important it is to really think about the information we consume.
Especially when it comes to, like, dating advice.
Oh, definitely.
We got to separate the hype from.
real insights.
So be wary of anything that promises a quick fix.
Exactly, because with human connection,
There are no shortcuts.
there's no magic formula.
Right. It's all about understanding people
And using those insights in a genuine way.
in a respectful way.
Absolutely.
So where does that leave us with this blog post?
Good question.
Is there anything we can actually take away from it?
I think there are some good nuggets in there.
Okay.
Buried under all the sensationalism it reminds us about.
Yeah.
Emotional connection,
Mhm.
subtle communication, creating intrigue.
But it's important to remember
That these are tools.
to build real connections.
Not to manipulate someone.
Make them feel something they don't.
Exactly.
It all comes back to being authentic
Being respectful
and actually wanting to connect.
with another person.
Yeah, that really resonates with me.
At the end of the day, be yourself
Be present.
and engage in a way that feels true.
I like that.
Attraction is complex.
It is.
There's no one right way.
But
But if we focus on genuine connection,
yeah,
understanding communication,
and being respectful.
we can build more meaningful relationships.
I think it's a really good point.
Yeah.
It shows that connecting with someone,
It's a journey full of learning,
and sometimes
even a weird blog post.
can teach us something.
Exactly.
I think we've really analyzed this pledge.
We've looked at it from all angles.
Yeah, good and bad.
Ready for the final takeaway.
I think so, yeah. I think so, yeah. We've really gone deep on this blog post.
Yeah, we've looked at the claims, the psychology, even some of the bad advice.
But before we wrap up, what are your final thoughts?
What do I want people to take away from all this?
Yeah, what are the key takeaways?
I'd say the biggest one is the power of emotional connection.
Okay.
The blog, even with its issues, does show how important it is to create that sense of understanding.
Shared values, real rapport.
Right, it's not about tricks.
It's about connecting on a deeper level.
Exactly, not just saying the right things.
But creating a feeling.
Yeah, an experience that really resonates.
And that brings us to, I guess, the second takeaway.
Which would be?
Subtlety and suggestion.
Ah, yes.
I mean, I wasn't crazy about their secret phrase idea.
No, not the best.
But it does show the power of intrigue.
Sparking someone's imagination.
Right, like a well-placed question.
A hint of mystery.
A little playfulness.
It can be more effective than being too direct.
It's like inviting the other person in.
Yeah, to become curious, to co-create that connection.
And that leads us to the most important takeaway, which
Yeah.
is authenticity.
Right. All the techniques, all the tips.
Don't matter if you're not being genuine.
If you don't have real interest, real respect.
It's about being yourself,
Being present.
engaging in a way that feels true to you.
Well said. Attraction is so complex.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
But by focusing on real connection
Understanding communication,
and being respectful and authentic,
we can build better relationships.
more fulfilling ones.
That's a great point. It's like connecting with someone is an ongoing journey.
Yeah, full of learning, full of discovery.
And sometimes, even a questionable blog post.
It can teach us something.
Exactly.
The most rewarding discoveries.
Are the ones we make when we're open-minded.
When we're curious.
And willing to question what we think we know.
So, to our listeners,
Keep exploring, keep asking questions.
see every interaction as a chance for real connection.
And maybe you'll find your own secret to building relationships.
One that's built on authenticity, respect.
And a genuine desire to connect.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time, keep learning and stay curious.